Welcome to the night where the paranormal unite. A party like never before under the moon's airy light. The vibe is dark, the air is cold, spirits taking flight. Get haunted and ghost a magazine leading the fright. Ghosts and ghouls dancing hand in hand, lost souls roaming the haunted land. On the battleship New Jersey we gather with glee. Horror and paranormal, a sight to see.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Halloween special for Divination with Dani. We have an amazing show tonight, or I'm hoping that everyone agrees with me that it's an amazing show tonight. We are going to be talking about the scary cards of the tarot. So what do I mean by the scary cards of the tarot? Basically, I mean we're going to be talking about the Tower, the Devil, the Death card, because, you know, they all look a little creepy, and of course, the Ten of Swords, which is like all the swords. And here, let me bring them up real quick before we do anything else, and I'll tell you. These are the cards right here, guys. We're going to be talking about these cards tonight, and I have an amazing lineup of friends, of Get Haunted family, just amazing people all around that I am going to have this discussion with, and hopefully all of you jump in and let us know as well. Before we jump into that, just real quick, guys, you saw right after my intro, Supernatural Soiree, October 26th. That is right around the corner. Like literally, this coming Saturday is USS Battleship New Jersey, big old Halloween party hosted by Get Haunted and Ghosted Magazine. We're going to have DJ Ghost. We're going to have a midnight seance with Patty Negri, which phenomenally, it's going to be amazing. That is unfortunately already sold out, but there are still tickets available. We have the regular tickets, which gains you entry at 8 p.m. Also, still a few VIP tickets available, which will gain you entry at 7 p.m. You're going to get an amazing swag bag filled with all kinds of goodies. Part of that is going to be, I don't know how I got my hands on this, but you're going to get your honorary ticket. Boom, right there in the swag bag for the VIP people. Get in at 7. You get to hang out with us a little bit early. Going to be an amazing time. I want to see all of you there, guys. Go out to supernaturalsoiree.com, grab those tickets, come say hi. There are going to be 12 vendor tables set up. These are just amazing people who have put a lot of time and effort into their craft, into everything that they do, and they're going to be right there as you walk onto the ship. There's even going to be all kinds of just like the fire dancers, the DJ, all these amazing things going on, the 360 cameras. This is going to be a party to remember. So you know you're going to want to be on that ship. Plus, who doesn't want to have a Halloween party on a battleship? I am so stoked about this. Plus, for all of you who decide that you're going to dress up, there's going to be a costume contest. So I think there's a cash prize for that, actually. So get your costumes in check, get your tickets, show up October 26th, and I will see you guys there. Love this. I'm seeing all kinds of people pop in on the side here. So real quick, before I say hi and bring everybody else up, as always, I like to have all of my shows sponsored by a tarot card. So today is brought to you by the Eight of Cups? Eight of Cups. So with the Eight of Cups, our keywords for this are going to be introspection, shifting priorities, abandonment, withdrawal, endings, seeking deeper meanings. And so for some people, and this is kind of a good card for tonight's show because some people see this as more of a scary card, more of a, like, it doesn't always give people the warm fuzzies, right? I mean, when you look at it, there's all these cups stacked up, right? So it's kind of like putting this barrier up between us and the individual that we're seeing on the cards here. There looks like almost like stormy or just not happy sea or water around this individual. He's walking into a cave. There's the moon up in the top corner. The moon for me always symbolizes our feelings, but maybe those feelings that we don't necessarily, they don't give us the warm fuzzies or we don't necessarily want to look at, right? So that's up in there. So your emotions with the water, your feelings with the moon. This guy's going into a cave. So it says kind of like he's withdrawing from the world. And sometimes, yes, this can seem scary, like, you know, you're walking away from a situation or you're abandoning something, but this also can be an amazing opportunity to just kind of like block out all the noise and the distraction from the outside world so that you can focus in on something. And then from that, you're going to gain a lot of clarity and things will just be a lot easier to handle. You're going to see your path a lot more clearly after taking that time to like just kind of withdraw within yourself and just take that moment. So really, yes, the eight of cups might look a little daunting, a little scary, but really it is also a beautiful opportunity. So today's show is brought to you by the Eight of Cups. And let's quick say hi to everybody before I bring up my amazing guests. I love this. I see a little bit of side chat going on here. We have Mark Brown. Hello, hello. We also have Damien Smith, who is hanging out in backstage right now. Hello, Stacy. How are you? Joe B. Hello, sir. Hello, Kim. Ross, it is so nice to see you. Big Daddy Andy in the house. Hello, sir. Oh, hi, Cindy. Hello, love. How are you? Do I see Stacy Talent? Stacy, what's going on, man? Hello. We have Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee. It's so nice to see you on here. Thank you for popping in. Guys, anyone who has not already, Dee Dee has a new podcast out there. I think it's called Positively Dreaming. Dee Dee, if I screwed it up, please let me know. Throw it in this. If you can, throw it in the comments so that people know where to find your new podcast. I did start listening to it. I got through the first episode and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's very well put together. She's very well spoken, some amazing information and some good tips for dream interpretations and just for just how to get some good, just pull the most out of your dreams. I really do enjoy it. So I hope that keeps going. Paranormal Theory in the house. What's up? Let's see. Who else? I think did I have? Oh, wait. Hi, Kelly. How are you, love? Some amazing individuals on this side chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for everyone who's tuned in and hasn't said hi, hello, and thank you, and welcome to my Halloween special. That being said, let me bring up my amazing guests. We have Damien. Let's bring Damien up. Hello, Damien. Yeah. Yes, I love it.
We wanted to do that.
I'm going to bring everybody up here. Here's Bill. We have...
What's up?
Oh, hold on. What am I doing here? Guys, technical difficulties on my end. We have Julie. Hello, Julie.
Hey.
Hello. Hey. Rachel. Miss Rachel, how are you? And Trevor Faith. Guys.
How's it going?
I love everybody on this show right now. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, I feel a little overwhelmed because I wasn't sure anybody was going to want to participate in this chat to begin with. And then you guys did not even hesitate. You were like, yep, I'm in. And it just made my heart so happy. Thank you so much. I feel like every single one of you kind of has dabbled or is very much into divination in some form or another. I mean, Damien is rocking some Ouija board arms here. So can I ask you a personal question, Damien? What made you decide to do that on your arms?
I was tired of going to places where it says you're not allowed to investigate. So I thought, well,
nice.
If I take my board and it's attached to me, what they're going to do? Chop my arms off before the door?
They can't really do much about that, can they? They'll be like, oh, it's like, and how many people are probably like, oh, it's just a tattoo, but they're functional. You're able to use them.
It's great when you do it on a bus or on a train and you just pull it out on the table. Everybody just runs out of the cabin. It's fantastic. There's no queues ever.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Damien, if they do cut your arms off, dibs.
Oh, definitely. They're definitely going. No, let's see. Definitely going to you.
For those of you who don't already know, Bill has a phenomenal Ouija board museum. Bill, do you want to tell us a little bit about that real quick before we dive into everything?
Sure. So I have the Empty Casket Talking Board Museum. Shut up, Trevor. You've never seen it.
Ooh.
So as of right now, we travel around with it. We go to different metaphysical stores, paracons, and ghost hunting events, and kind of spread the word of where Ouija boards came from, their history within the spiritualism movement, the history of the board itself, showcasing my collection, and also going over all the myths and superstitions of the Ouija board and trying to dispel a lot of those so people are less afraid.
I love it. And I got to witness, so you had your museum set up at the Shanley,
Mm-hmm.
and I was fortunate and I felt very honored to have been able to witness that. When I walked in there, guys, I don't know how else to explain this. This man has put and Tanya have put so much effort into this museum, and it was just beautifully put together. There was just all this amazing array of different boards, all of the information, and you could tell he really did put a lot of time and effort and heart into doing what he does in his presentation. Bill, that was phenomenal. I
Well, thank you.
loved every second of that. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't have free time anymore, but that's okay.
Well worth it though, dear sir. Well worth it. Trevor, I see a board in the background here. We have investigated together before. Where are you? Like, how do you feel about divination in general, as far as on any form of divination?
Divination to me feels a lot more in tune and personal with how I investigate whether it's pendulums or dowsing rods or tarot, or like just with your own like body. After years of investigating, like most everyone did, I started out like falling in love with the spirit box and all the crazy tools, and then as I grew older, it's like the more in tune the investigation is with the earth and with you, the more you learn. So that's when I kind
No,
of dabbled with more dowsing rods, more pendulums, more me, and thanks to you, more tarot. So
no. Oh,
yeah,
hey, I love that.
so yeah.
We actually had when I was on help me out here, guys. I am drawing a blank on your show name. Not Empty
Oh,
Casket. It is
on
Haunted Casket.
Yeah.
Haunted Casket. I'm so sorry. Like I was like, I just wanted to say Empty Casket, but I'm like, no, it's more than Empty Casket. It's Haunted Casket. When I was on there, actually, this is cool because we actually have Damien on now too. He had suggested that we all pull cards, right? And so we
Yes.
did, and it was the first time I had ever done that. And it was amazing how well that actually did work out. And like on the side, it was resonating with people. And I thought that was phenomenal, actually. So I'm really grateful that I got to have that opportunity with you guys.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Seriously.
It was kind of amazing when we pulled the exact same card.
Ace of something.
Oh,
or
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the card? I don't remember anymore.
it was Ace of some. Ace of not Ace of Spade. No, okay, sorry.
Oh, that's a
Um,
Motorhead
Was
song.
it,
That's
was
about
it Ace of
it.
not Ace of Wands? Was it? It was.
It was Ace of
I
something.
remember.
Bill, I've slept since then. What was the card called?
Listen, I'm,
Don't
I'm
remember.
gonna have to go back to that show, but it was cool because it made it more like it resonated, I think, a little bit more because we both pulled the same card, and it was
Mm-hmm.
it was
It was
just
very
fun.
neat.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna Google Ace of Tarot until it pops up.
There's
Stop,
the
because
cups,
there's-
there's the swords, and the coins.
Thank you, Julie. I was gonna say there's a bunch.
There's Ace. Okay.
There's 4.
4 suits, 4 aces. But in the meantime, so while you're looking that up, Rachel, my love, I know I have investigated with you and you dive a little bit deeper than the equipment. So how do you feel divination works for you? Like, do you connect? I know that you also have cards yourself.
I do. I actually just started reading tarot. I got a tarot reading at Whitehill, and then when you started reading, I was like, "Huh, something kind of clicked." So I've actually been working with a girl that did the reading for me by the name of Angela at Whitehill, and she's been really helping me dive deeper into the tarot side. But I've also, as pretty much all of y'all know, for the most part, I've also been working on that mediumship and psychic side as well with my other mentor, April. So, for me, it's more, I don't like to know anything. Like, I like to just know what the location is called and where it's located. I don't like to know any of the background history because I want to go in with a clear conscience, in so many words, and try to feel out what, the spirits and the entities, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, want to tell me. So
I like that because you're not being like front loaded with any information, right? You're going in there just completely like you're open to whatever comes to you, and then you can always go back later, right, and research later after you've received what you're getting to verify.
Exactly.
And I like that. I like that way of that style of investigating. I think that's do you feel like do you connect deeper walking in not knowing what's going on with the building?
I do, because I don't have any preconceived notions. Like, I don't know, okay, well, there's a little girl by the name of Sarah that has been seen on the second floor, back bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So I can go
Right.
in and I just like all of a sudden I'm like, hold on, what's going on in here? You know, I can't say all the time, because it's not, obviously it's not all the time, because they don't always want to connect, but it's just a feeling or a sense, you know, that I'm sure everybody that is on this panel right now and on the side has felt at one time, because everybody has an intuition. Some people have just tapped into it more than others. Some people have worked towards being more intuitive with their own bodies than others, or, you know, have been able to really connect with cards. So it's like there's just all kinds of different things that you can do and use when it comes to paranormal investigating, or when it comes to actually reading tarot cards, you know, because it's just you're just kind of downloading what you're getting from the universe. That's the way that I look at it. I know
I
that's a long
love.
explanation. I'm sorry. I'm from
No,
the
no, it's a
South,
beautiful
so I talk a
explanation.
lot.
No, that's totally fine. Are you kidding me? No, and I agree with you on that. I feel like, and then when I investigate, I try not to lean into the gadget, the gadgets and the gizmos so much. Like, I prefer to try to tune into my own body. Like, what am I feeling? What am I hearing,
Yeah.
seeing? And I feel like that gives me more to run with than watching a piece of equipment going off, because I feel like we miss things when we're so focused on an
On that
external.
equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really cool when you get something and then all of a sudden that piece of equipment goes off with it. And you're like, whoa, you know, it's kind of, it correlates sometimes. It just kind of
Yeah,
throws you for that loop.
and it's nice, like, when you can use the equipment as something to kind of, oh, I
Like
just lost the word that
validation.
I'm, thank you, validate what you're actually feeling yourself. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, exactly.
Julie, and I know you're tuned in with the whole divination thing. I know that you work with chakras, and I know that you read tarot. I've never investigated with you. I don't know if you dive into the investigation part so much, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the chakras and with tarot, and give us a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit.
So yeah, the chakra series that I got to do here, which is one tonight as well, has
Yeah, I know.
really
I'm
been a
excited for
passion
that.
project of mine. And I love bringing the information to people so they can help themselves. And it's kind of like with tarot too. What really drew me to tarot when I was 15 years old is the art. It is the art, because like Rachel says, we all have this ability, a psychic ability and intuitive, and we don't need anything. You don't need any tools, but the tools are fun, especially with the tarot, you know, and there's so many different designs. But I always loved the original Rider-Waite, because it just has a hardcore symbolism of almost like a memory in the back of our head that we can feel when we look at them.
Oh, it really does.
Yep.
I
And
totally agree with that. Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely. I do too.
right. And that's one of the main, what I do a lot of events and shows. I actually had 3 shows over the weekends because of, Halloween and the spooky season. And I did so many readings, and I feel like with the cards, the spooky cards, people were like, oh no, the death card. And I was like, no, it's actually really good. It's like it's a super positive card, unless everything's amazing in your life, which, is rare, but sorry, I go off on a tangent, but I enjoy investigating, just like Rachel, not knowing anything, going in blind, feeling the energy.
Yeah.
And I don't even use tarot or anything like that in my investigations. I just like to feel and sense. I hear, sounds kind of crazy, but I'll hear voices in my head, my higher self, or
That's not crazy at all. No.
yeah, and they'll say
That's so
words, and I'll
crazy.
say,
Me too.
right, and then you'll like record your voice or like memo it in your phone, and then you go back home and be like, oh my god, that's exactly what we saw or heard. That way it is definitely more validating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Total side story, has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight. But when you said about voices in your head, so when I had first started my training for Reiki, I was doing like we were instructed how to do so many self treatments and like take note of how you felt before and after, the whole 9 yards. And I remember I was right towards the end of that training that I was doing. I was doing a self treatment for myself, and I felt really like I was getting really in tune, right? And all of a sudden I heard this voice, and the voice said, "How does that feel?" I'm not gonna, it freaked me out because it was so clear. I thought there was someone standing in the room with me. And then I think I scared myself enough that I closed it back off because I haven't really had like something that clear since. But yes, so now what you're talking about when you're talking about like hearing something, even if it's just like an inner ear, like you're hearing it with like your
Yeah.
psychic senses or whatever. Yeah.
It's like
It's
the mental
crazy.
mediumship too. That's what most people, when they connect with spirits, it's like the mental mediumship. They come through voices and symbols, and sometimes it's in your own voice.
Yeah, no, like, and I've already had to, like, I know I'll connect with, like, I'll hear not necessarily voices, but like something that'll be like a symbolism for me. Like I'll hear the ocean or I'll hear a seagull, and there's like nothing that would make that noise, but I'm hearing it like with my, you know, my psychic hearing or whatever you want to call it, like your inner hearing. Or like I'll get like a mental picture real quick, right? So like that's all part of that tapping in, and I feel like that is part of divination in a way too, because you're connecting with your senses, right?
And even when you're looking at the cards, different, like if I pulled the same card for every single person here, different objects within the cards will pop out, different colors. It changes its meaning.
It does. It really, because I feel like there's this plethora within every single card, right? And it really does depend on like the cards around it, what you're focused on, right? Because it's all about symbolism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, should we bring up like okay. I'm gonna try to figure this out as we go. If something seems like it should flow differently, yell at me, okay? Because we're all learning as we go here. We're gonna bring up let's talk about some tarot, guys. Let's talk about the scary cards. If I do this. All right, so I'll play around with this as we go, but for right now, the cards are up on the top. So let's focus on, I know Damien and I were talking before everyone else came on, and we were talking about the tower. What do you guys all feel about the tower, huh? Bring this in. So have any of you on the panel here, do any of you resonate with the tower card?
I definitely do.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damien, like, are you willing to share a story or why it necessarily connects with you?
I don't actually know why it resonates. I just feel drawn. It's just that card for some reason. It's just, I don't know whether it's because I play chess and because it's like the castle on a chessboard.
It kind of does seem like that, right?
It just seems to I just feel that one better.
They do. So like for everyone on the side here, I don't know if I can make this no, I really can't. So for this, there is a tower, right? I don't know if we can all see this. There's a lightning bolt coming into the tower, and that looks scary, right? Like somebody would be like, okay, that's a little terrifying. There's flames flying out of this damn thing, coming out of the windows, right? People falling for like they're either leaping out of their own free will or they're falling, one or the other. They look like they're in extreme distress. And this tower happens to be like, it looks like it's on a cliff, right? Like there's nothing else around this thing. It looks like you're just going to fall into oblivion. The clouds aren't friendly. It's a dark sky. Everything about this card just kind of screams like, oh, there's a crown for this. There's a crown falling off. This is almost like, you know, like a descent, right? Like you're coming from like this higher place and falling down. So for a lot of people, this is a terrifying card to get for a lot of people. Who else said they resonate? Before I jump into the rest of what I was going to say, Bill, how does this resonate for you?
So this card has been very influential in my life because to me, this card has always meant, you know, it's going to take what you've built up and destroy it, knock it down. And the intention is not that it's just ending something in your life, but it's knocking it down so that you can rebuild. And I've done that several times throughout my life, especially within the last couple of years between my faith, relationships, getting into the paranormal, and then the way I investigate now is so different than when I started that it's like the tower is constantly in my life. I build up, tear it down, and then rebuild better.
I feel like that's a beautiful, like you've incorporated that card beautifully, I think.
Yeah,
I really do.
Done it justice.
What was that?
He did it justice.
Oh, he did. He absolutely did it justice. Absolutely. Rachel, did you say this resonates with you?
It does because when I actually got the reading earlier that I was telling you about at Whitehill, this card came out. And for me personally, it was a good card. It meant something to me because long story short, we did Madison Seminary in Fairfield County Infirmary earlier. I actually got a drawing from the psychic, either at Fairfield or Madison, can't remember which one she's at, but she knew that it was meant for me. Didn't know who was coming to investigate. I got that, but all over the picture, it's like healing is coming, healing is coming. I got this, and all the other cards that were pulled for me all resonated that my healing was starting this year, and that it was going to be me breaking down the walls that I have built up for so many years and reemerging as a new version of myself. And so there has been, excuse me, there's been lots of personal decisions that I have made that have been the best decisions for me personally, within my relationships, within the people that I have in my energy space. And I am in such a good place right now. And so for me personally, that card was the beginning of me being the best version of myself that everybody else around me saw, but I never truly saw within myself until I got that healing part done. So that's why it resonates for me.
Well, that makes sense because it's you're breaking down like all of that
Mhm.
garbage that no longer serves you, right? You're just tearing it down
Yep.
to the foundations. It's a beautiful, yeah. So just
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
emerging in this brand new, like secure foundations. I love that.
Yeah. It's
Julie or
weird.
Trevor, and yeah,
Yeah.
like what do you guys think of the tower here? Like I feel like Bill and Rachel, like that's beautifully
I
described.
do a lot of
I
readings
think.
and people pull the tower. And for me, it really depends on the cards around it. It could mean winning the lottery. It's like a huge surprise. I mean, it doesn't always
Yeah.
mean negative. So a lot of times people
No.
think it's negative. I actually like the tower too. It's just a shake up, switch up to
Oh, yeah.
refresh
Mhm.
things. And it's always a surprise. But it can be very extreme because if you got all those negative cards that we're kind of focusing on, I'd be like, oh, you could be getting hit by a bus. I would never say that in a reading. You know what I mean? It's like it's very opposite. It's either like you're winning the lottery or you break your leg. It's very extreme.
It is an extreme
Mhm.
card,
That's
isn't
how I
it?
feel with it.
I
Because
feel
look at
like
them, they're
there's like
sleeping. They look like they were sleeping in the middle of the night, and they're like, ah,
Yeah, and they just
falling
got thrown
down
out
into
of
the
it.
water.
I've always associated the tower with that Kali energy, like that, like she's there out of love, but she's gonna rip everything away that doesn't need to be there, and it's kind of like, yeah.
I've never had this card pulled, and I didn't know the meaning of it until now. But with my photographic like memory and how that works in my head, I looked at it for a few seconds and was like,
Aw.
this makes sense in my head, which it may make sense to others. We're about to find out. But to me, the tower, it being so high in the air, could represent your mind, not a physical
Oh.
tower. So
Oh.
like, and everything that's happening around the tower, the clouds, the lightning, and whatever the other two things are beside it, could be acting as outside influences, depression, noise, things that don't matter, people that are wanting to get into your lives, whether they're good or bad. And no matter how much no matter how much any of that is trying to come in and affect your life, the walls or your boundaries or your energy is blocking that until you decide to let it in.
I like that. That is an interpretation I can totally see from this. Absolutely.
Because my brain just like takes every aspect visually of that card and was like, how does this work in my head? So like it's kind of, to put it in a long story short, in case people need that, it's, I know this is gonna sound a lot more grim than what it is, but have you ever like if you've ever went through a very dramatic, traumatizing, or large new step in life to where you just kind of have to take some personal time and just meditate and be like, okay, I have all this noise, all these decisions that need to be made. So instead of deciding now, let me think on it. I feel like that's, the tower is the thinking, and everything outside of the tower is what could be, what may be, and what is.
I mean, yeah, in a way, because like it's taking away all the noise, right? You're
Yeah.
like if you're going within, you're taking away like you're taking away the layers, you're sitting with things, you're trying to
Yeah.
figure it out until you get to that base of what the heck is going on. So yeah. And the thing is too, like the way you're reading it the way I eventually learned how to read tarot is like you're taking the symbols and what does it mean to you? You're personalizing it. And I think that means so much more when you're doing a reading than, okay, what did the book tell me it's supposed to be? You know what I mean? Yeah. For real. But I love that. We're gonna go on, unless anyone has anything else they want to talk
one
about.
more thing I want to say about it too, because I was thinking, so the major arcana, you can do an archetypal journey through them, through your life, you know, starting at the Fool and ending with the World, and where that placement is in the archetypal journey of the major arcana, it's like the midlife crisis. That's what I kept hearing. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah,
that's it could reflect that. And sometimes people go out and buy a brand new car or like disappear to Europe. I don't know, like
so it's that moment of chaos in your life.
Well, that's what I heard to say.
No, I love that.
Life crisis.
Oh my god, I never thought of it that way, but that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
holy cow,
it's kind of in the middle.
It kind of is though, yeah. And yeah, when you're doing that whole like the Fool to the World, there it is like a whole life cycle that you're going through within those cards. So yeah, I love that. Julie, I'm so glad you came on tonight.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Yes. All right, guys, death card. Just right off the bat, like, what does everyone think? Like, whoever wants to chime in on this, go for it. I mean, this is okay, guys. Let me just break this down for you really quick. There's a skeleton. He's in a suit of armor. He's on a white horse. He has a flag with, I'm not sure what flower that's supposed to be.
I think it's like a Rosicrucian flower or something.
Is it?
I think so.
Really?
Bless you.
But then there's also like there's this a religious figure, almost looks like a pope or like some kind of a religious authority. He's kind of standing up pleading with it. There's these people down here that they're just kind of it almost looks like they're either like they don't want to look, they don't want to face it, or that they're kind of already expired. But then there's also, I don't know if you guys can see in the background, there are two little towers and there's a sun coming up in the background. So there's a lot of symbolism.
It's the sun card.
That's the moon too. The moon card with the two towers and the wolf and the. That's
Holy
actually
cow, you're right.
Yeah.
Julie.
Okay.
I love the imagery that Pamela Smith put in there. They're all like kind of combined in the
It's insane. Like the amount of what you can pull out of this card, it blows my mind. I know, like for me, when I see the death card, I get excited. Like for me, this is not a scary card for me. Like when I see this, I'm just gonna throw my 2 cents in real quick and like you guys let me know if you agree with this or not. But like it just looks like he's coming in, he's on the white horse, right? Like for me, like that's a symbolism of like that's not someone scary. That's not someone coming in to like destroy you. That's usually someone who's coming to save the day comes in on a white horse, right? And like the flowers to me seem like that it's in bloom, right? So like I feel like there's transformation there. So like this whole thing with death for me seems like you're letting something go to let something new come in. So like there's this fresh flow, like the cycle of life is happening here. Like I don't know, guys, what do you think? Like let me know what you think of this death card because I don't think it's so scary. I don't know.
No, it's not scary at all.
No.
I mean, if you look at like the only thing dead in there other than death itself is the king. So whatever it was.
Oh my God, you're right.
Whatever it was that was ruling you, that was that's gone. So now you have that freedom to move elsewhere, and that's why the kid is okay. The bishop or cardinal or whatever he is, he actually seems happy that death is there. And then
it's like open arms, like kind of like welcoming him in, right?
Yeah. And this card resonates with me in a very specific way, because if you look in the background, right underneath the belly of the horse, there's a Viking ship.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, why did I never see that before, Bill? There is. Hold on, can I make this big? I don't know if I can do this. Let me see if I can make this bigger really quick. Oh, all right. Well, then I let everybody else go. I want everyone else to come back.
Oh.
Come back. But I feel like, no, I mean, okay, so the Viking ship, Bill, you connect with Vikings. Like, is there more symbolism to that for you? Because this is kind of your realm. Like,
Yeah, I mean, so it's the connection with the Vikings. You know, a lot of people viewed the Vikings as death because they came in and they were not kind. They killed a lot of people and they took over a lot of land. However, so much of our modern world we have because of the Vikings. They opened up trade routes through all of Europe that didn't exist prior to them. You know, the way that they didn't invent democracy by any means, but the way that they did it is pretty close to how we do it. Their law system, their language, their holidays. I mean, we are about to celebrate Halloween, which traces back to Samhain, which rightly so people associate with Ireland, but it originally came from the Vikings, and the Celtics took it when the Vikings took over Ireland. So there's just like this card, it's death coming, but there's good things coming with it.
I love that. So, like, well, because when something dies, doesn't that it creates a foundation for something new to come out of it? Like, even in the cycle of life, when something dies in the forest, it enriches the earth, and then from that, something else can grow out of it, or it becomes food for something else. Like, I love that. Damien, you had said that you liked the death card before.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you pull specifically with the death card at all, or is it just the imagery? Like, what is it that?
Well, it wasn't so
you
much the
find-
imagery. It's like the closing of a chapter and the beginning of something new. Kind of like coming out of winter and going into spring. Especially with the flowers. I didn't know the Viking ship was there, to be honest. So that's what I've actually learned a lot just listening. Actually,
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't realize with the Viking ship either, to tell you the truth. And I've been playing with these cards since I was like 14, 15 too. So, like...
it's honestly something I only noticed very recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I don't even know if I can bring this up so you guys can see it. It's at the bottom here, right? Like,
yeah, it's right by your thumb on the left.
You guys can see that. I don't think I'm helping anybody right now.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna put that back on.
little red
Is it-
triangle thing.
It has a red mast on it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Okay.
There it is.
I think that's just Jimmy Buffett out in the like out in the distance.
Jimmy Buffett's just hanging out in the ocean watching the death card float by. No, but I like that because that's still like transformation, right, Damien? Like that's still, I don't know. I like it. I like that a lot. Ladies, anything else to add to the death card before we move on to the next card? Rachel, Julie.
Go ahead,
No?
Julie.
Well, the one thing
No.
about the death card, it shows you that there is no bias. All different types. Death comes for everyone, and not like that. Like, but change comes for everyone.
Oh,
So,
no.
like that's why he's standing on top of all people, all different divisions, different ages, and it's showing that change must happen. Without change, there'd be nothingness. Like our cells are continuously changing. So it's like almost like getting people excited for change because things do have to end. Even sometimes they can be rather painful, but there's always like, even in the background, like it opens up the mystery with the moon with the two towers is the mystery and the unknown, and that's the unknown with the death. So I always I pulled that a lot. I did a bunch of reading. Like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, no, this is like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon.
I have a question. So speaking of like new changes and stuff, does the death card tie back to reincarnation with the Egyptians?
It can.
I think so.
I don't see why not. I mean,
I thought about that.
You would have to look back at Anubis, god of the underworld.
Right?
I am not educated on like Egyptian at all, but like
Trevor, it's funny that you say that though, because literally one of my tarot decks I have is Tarot of the Nile, and that's my death card. Yeah, that's my death card on that one.
I love it. That is a gorgeous card.
That's awesome.
This is one of my favorite decks.
Another cool thing with your question about Egypt is, so the Rider-Waite-Smith deck was designed for the Golden Dawn. Waite and Smith were both members of the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn was a magic society based heavily in ancient Egyptian lore.
Yeah, the
It is.
Hermeticism, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I love that. And you guys are speaking of Anubis, like he's also on the Wheel of Fortune. He's like on the uptick of the Wheel of Fortune too. So and I feel like the Wheel of Fortune because like everything goes in cycles, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of times I feel like that can correlate with the death card because of transformation. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
Rachel, do you have anything before I jump over to the next card with death that you wanted to add?
I
at
mean,
all?
to me, it's funny. All of the cards that everybody is so afraid of, I absolutely love because they all, literally every single one of them, means something personal to me. Because again, going back to that reading, during that reading, I literally, if I'm remembering right, I think either I got 3 out of the 4 or all 4 of them in my reading, along with some other ones.
Oh,
And it was just it was it was just a very powerful reading, and that's all I can say about it because I don't know how to form words about how just that reading, tarot reading, has changed so much. But to me, death means, if for somebody else, if I'm doing a reading for somebody and I get the death card, for me that means the death of them, and them, their old selves dying, and that they need to do that inner self shadow work to get rid and heal those past traumas, to be able to move on to the next chapter and get onto that next level and that next frequency or vibration that they need to be on, that is inevitable and is in their plan for their, their lives. So I mean, it's just, for me, it's like you said, a transformation, or almost like a rebirth. Your old Jews dying for the new you to come along, down the road. So
yeah. And that does touch on something too. Like the reason that people, this is personal opinion, so like this might not resonate with everyone, but I feel like the reason these cards are so scary for people is because a lot of times they prompt us for self-reflection. And you don't necessarily always want to look at like, yeah, okay, nobody is perfect, right? Everyone's going to have something in their lives. And when you're not ready to look at it, that can be terrifying, actually. So I think that's a lot of
Yeah.
these cards are asking you to look at something or to realize that there is something that you need to let go of, or
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I feel like, okay, so we've gone through, we're ripping everything down to your foundations, right? You're getting rid of things, you're letting things go. And now we're going in through transformation. I'm pulling these at random, so I'm just making this up as I go here. But like, let's talk about the devil,
Yeah,
Oh
guys.
shit.
Yes.
like the devil card.
I actually really enjoy this card, and it comes up
Crazy.
in for me with readings. It comes into very interesting. Like it prompts some questioning sometimes that I would not have otherwise done when this card comes up. So, what do you guys think about the devil? Are we scared of this card? Do we like this card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
so in. Let's just do
Oh, yeah.
circle here. Or no,
Yeah.
Trevor. Let's start with you. We'll start with you then, Trev.
I
Let's do this.
going off from what because and this all came with like my change of faith as well. Um Last year I visited the Satanic Temple in Salem,
Ooh.
and and uh and I know it's called the devil, but that could also in theory reference Satan. And in Latin, Satan just means the opposite or opposition of anything that's holy. So, but the moral guidelines and general philosophy of Satanism is not to worship the devil, but is to worship who you are and what you believe in, and you in turn are your God. And so, whenever I first saw that, it's like, since the couple of cards meant to tear down and rebuild in new
Mhm.
beginnings, really the only way to successfully, whether that's physically or mentally, do the first two steps is to really believe in yourself. So maybe this card could mean like, hey, once you have your goals and your next step in life planned out, plan it out and do it how you want to, because the only person that you could really be is you. Does that make sense?
No, it does. So like it would be a card of like self-reflection, like actually having to like really take a look at
Yeah,
yourself,
like
basically.
you have the goals in mind, but how are literally you both physically, mentally, and spiritually going to attain what you have found in your new path?
I like that. I mean, that I can see that.
Now, once again, my knowledge of tarot is like nothing, so I could be totally off base, but like
No.
that's what.
Here's the thing: you're taking
So,
the image and you're taking what it means to you, and you're
yeah.
running with it. And for me personally, like when I look at this card, what you're saying is the very like you just went right to the core of like
Okay.
what I would have to go through to interpret this card. So
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
Trevor, you're not wrong, dude.
That's the beautiful thing about tarot. There is no wrong.
There is no
Just
wrong. There's no wrong
in
way.
my head,
Yeah.
in my head, I have a lot of like self-doubt about things I don't know anything about. So like, but in this case, like you said, like it's about how I feel. So I just got to get used to that. But
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful interpretation, and I don't think
Yeah.
you're wrong at all. And I think that's
Cool.
it's wonderful because you took that and you found the symbolism in it and what it means for you. And yeah, because like I would get to the same conclusion to what you said. You went a different path, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, Trevor, I love that. Thank you.
Now, Damien, I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay. You said everything I was going to say, so.
Oh, well, there we go. There we go.
So, David, do you find this card terrifying, or do you like this
No,
card?
I
or
like this one. I see it as a trickster. This is like the wicked side and that you would normally suppress. So
yeah,
playing tricks on people, split personality, find a wallet in the street instead of handing it in, you keep it. That kind of analogy. I wouldn't
Okay,
say
yeah, it's like
I wouldn't say it's
So-
worse than the devil because you've got the two people as the legs. So you just
more
listen to the more trickster
more
side.
integrity based.
like an integrity issue, kind of
Yeah.
like more of like tapping into like maybe more of the shadow of yourself than yeah.
Okay.
All right, I could totally see
I
that.
like that.
Absolutely.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. I like that interpretation, and I can see that in the cards, and that's depending on the cards around it. That's a beautiful interpretation of that, I think. Honestly, Bill, what do you think with this?
So for me,
Are
this
you
has always
scared, or-
been. Oh, I'm not scared of. There's no reason to be scared of this. So I view this as the the devil is your vices. It's the things that are holding you back, and that's the chain around your neck that's stopping you from moving forward. But the thing that I love about this card, and it goes back to the artwork, is if you look at the chains around their neck, they're very loose chains.
Oh, they are.
They can very easily just slip the chains off and move forward and leave. And so
They're
that's
holding themselves there.
exactly. And that's why
Yeah.
I view it as it's your vices or your self-doubt, or it's whatever is in your head that's holding you back, and you just have to let it go so that you can move forward.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and that actually does tie in with what Damien and Trevor both said too. They all
Mhm.
kind of like tie together, right? Rachel, are you scared of this card? How do you feel about the devil?
I'm not scared of that card at all. Exactly what Bill said. I agree with everything that him, Damien, and Trevor have said about this card. To me, this is shedding the old stuff, that does no longer serve you, whether it's quitting drinking or quitting drugs or, changing careers. It's something that could easily be fixed, where you can move forward on the path that you're supposed to, move forward on. So
Yeah.
I agree with everything.
Yeah, I love
They
it.
couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, everyone's really been hitting on it. I mean, Julie, and
Yeah.
you read tarot. How do you feel like when you pull this card? Do you go or like?
Oh no! So it's interesting. So on the more negative side, if it was to read the cards with this, I would say do not take the easy way out. Do the right thing. It is like a moral thing. Do the right thing. The devil is the trickster. You'll be tempted to take the easy way out, and then you'll regret it. And
Yeah.
or it could mean addiction and things like that. But on the good side, it can mean like really good sex. That's what the devil represents.
I mean, yeah,
So-
I can see that in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it does mean that if it's about relationships and a lot of positive cards, it could mean that. But also, it's very interesting. It actually mirrors the Lovers. If you look at the Lovers card, there's the
Oh,
man
it
in the
does. Let me
moon,
pull that
and
real
there's
quick.
the
It does.
angel above them.
Yes.
So it's just like the extreme opposite. There's a choice to be made because the Lovers is a lot about choices, but so
There
is
is
the
a lot
Devil.
with that.
So the Devil is a
like-
lot about choices as well. You know, are you going to be tempted by the Devil? Just like kind of the old what Damien was saying, like, oh, the wallet, return it, and even people. If there was a question like people pushing your buttons, like be the bigger person, don't fall into being just as catty or something like that. But
Right.
it's a fun card. It's super interesting, and I think it brings up a lot. Oh, and also mirrors the Magician as well. There's a lot of as above, so below with the hand movements, but
Yeah, I love that. Here, I'm gonna put the Lovers next to.
yeah, look at
if I
it.
can
It's
get
so
them.
powerful. Like, look at that.
Like, look at that.
It's the same
Like, you
exact
were
card
so
almost.
right. It's the two people, and then the whatever kind of divinatory figure above it, and we have one where it's more daytime, nighttime.
Yeah, I
They're
think
kind of like opposites.
Lovers
of
is
each
Raphael.
other.
I'm not 100%. I can't remember which one it is, but
remember
the
either.
Devil was an angel. He was a fallen
He was an
angel.
Yes.
True.
So, oh my
I
god,
would
I love
never
the
thought-
mirror.
And then the fire too. Look at how he has fire on the tail, the male, and the fire on the tree. And then she has the fruit. And the fruit is the tail. So it's a lot of
Oh,
yeah.
They are very much the same. I love this. And they are both about choices also. So this is I love that correlate. I would not have like honestly, it would have taken me years.
Oh, my
still,
friend showed
right?
me. My friend showed me that, and I couldn't get over it. And then that's when I started really reflecting, especially within the major arcana,
Wow.
the coincidences within the cards. Like,
Oh yeah,
watching.
it's phenomenal. Or like when you take like all of the queens or all of the knights or all of the and then like you just look at their stories and how they all interact, and then you get this. There's these beautiful, like the meanings kind of shift or become deeper, and I love this because this is gonna make me look at both of these cards a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
now, too.
right.
Yeah, and I do like it because it is more about choices. But I feel like this, for like just. I haven't sat with these yet, but like just looking at these now, like I would feel like, yes, this is about choices, but like more about connections. And this is more about like, for me, this would be more self-reflection.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah, like an inner mental. Emotional.
because you're having, because too, like I like the as above, so below, right? The fact that their chains really are super loose. They could literally walk away at any moment.
They're happy.
They wanted
They're
to.
smiling. They don't mind. They're like, oh.
They are enjoying their situation. So
They're
it
not
means like maybe you're just like like those vices, those things that like, okay, yeah, maybe society says are wrong, but you really enjoy them. Like, and that's not always necessarily a horrible thing either. Like, I don't think that just because the society shuns something that it should be automatically bad. Like, I think that depends on your situation personally, but yeah. Wow. Okay. I love this. Now I've learned a little bit more tonight too. I love this. So we've learned about breaking things down to to the core of the situations, transformation, about choices, and like how we depict like the trickster aspect of ourselves, that shadow side, right? Like basically kind of like facing the darker side of ourselves, right? That can be super. Okay, so I can see where the devil gets really scary there, right? 2 plus anyone who's very religious could take this card and like the religious aspect of it, like that's terrifying for somebody who's extremely religious, right? I get that, but I think this is more about just like the shadow work, or just sitting with the darker side of yourself. Not necessarily bad, just sitting with it. I don't know. This card. Guys, the 10 of Swords definitely looks terrifying. So we have 10 swords in the back of somebody who is face down. The crimson, I'm pretty sure, like, to me, this looks like this is a crimson outfit, but then this kind of looks like it might be blood down here. The one thing here, like the black skies, but then you have, for me personally, when I look at this, like I always focus right here. This is like the sun's coming up, right? There's the dawning of a new day there. Something that I learned
golden
about
dawn,
race,
if you will.
Yes.
Golden dawn, which I loved when Bill first pointed that out to me, and I'm like, holy shit. Oh my God. The golden dawn. It makes sense now. Something I recently learned from looking through articles actually for a show for The Awakening, and I was looking for things with tarot, and they made reference to the hand symbolism. That I guess this is a yogic, like a mudra, and I cannot remember what it stands for, but it's basically like it's not a bad. It's about like relifting yourself up, basically, right? And I could be getting that completely wrong, but the whole premise of this is that symbol is not a bad symbol that this man's hand's doing. So when you guys look at this card, do you shudder? Like, what's about, like, what do you see in this card when you look at it?
I know it's random, but or like where the quote is coming from, at least. There's a song by the Amity Affliction, and one of the part of the songs says the only death is when you truly know who you are. So,
I love that.
I don't
kind of like
specifically with all the swords. I don't know. I nothing's coming to mind about what each specific sword means, but like blood refers to a lot of stuff. Like blood is thicker than water. Family, what energy, what flows through you in both the metaphorical and physical sense, hopefully. So yeah, but I mean, without thinking too hard into it, because I tend to overthink, just I guess after all the cards that we've already read, yeah, just you truly know yourself. I guess long story short, you finally truly know who you are. I know that's very
getting to the bottom of things, kind of a situation. Yeah, I love that. I can see that in this. Absolutely. Rachel, we'll just move, like, I see everyone in a certain angle, so I'm going to say, Rachel, you're next, honey. I don't know if everyone sees everyone the way I
do, but to me, no, another card doesn't scare me at all. To me, it symbolizes everything in your life that has tried to bring you down, and it has slowly killed you a little bit each time, and you finally have gotten to a point where it's too much. It's just kind of, you're down in that low level. You've kind of almost hit rock bottom. But you still have that little bit of fight left in you. Just that little bit of spark where you're like, you know what? This world can shove it. And we're going to keep on moving. So for me, that's what it symbolizes, is just, people may think you're down for the count, but you've still got that little spark left in you that's going to get you right back up to being, again, the best version of yourself.
And building off a little bit of what you said, because I've been there as well, and I'm sure everyone else has, but if I'm making a big life choice or a new path in a hobby, or even a new type of content that I want to make that you've been thinking about for years, and you finally have the idea of how to put it into motion, you either think about any of those choices whenever you're going through a dark time in life, you made some questionable choices, then you're like, no, turn it around right now, and it's never too late. Or you're in your car after a long drive, and you're like, hey, I want to do this when I get home. It could be either way. So, yeah.
Like the ending of something, the beginning of something, kind of a situation. Yeah. I'll take with that. Yeah. Julie.
Yeah, this card. Look, okay, this is the best explanation I get from this. The worst is over. He's dead. Like every sword in his back, he's gone. There's nothing worse than that, right?
I was gonna say, you can't get much lower than that, right?
Yeah, and that's what I always say. It's like it's refreshing. You don't have to worry no more, and you don't have to think about it. And the swords are all about the mind and thinking and ideas. Mm-hmm. So that energy there. So the one right before it. I know you didn't have the 9 of Swords as a scary card, but I feel like the 9 of Swords is one of the worst cards in the deck personally.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, because it's anxiety and fear.
Okay, now I want to see the 9 of Swords.
I know. Yeah. I'm looking for it right now. As you
you'll see it, but then there's the 10, and that means, like you said,
it's over.
It's over. Starting new. Mm-hmm. Those mostly thoughts and thinking patterns, I feel like, are going to be refreshed, and you're kind of different perspective, new perspective. So I always actually enjoy seeing this card because I'm like, oh, the worst is over.
I feel like if you're given a reading Like you pull that card, you lay it down, and all you say is, well, metaphorically, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
But-
a lot of the swords are terrifying. Like when people look at the
Yeah.
swords, they're like, oh, in general. Like,
Yeah.
okay, here's that's the Nine of Swords, right?
Oh,
But,
that
like,
looks-
there's like all the swords in general are just not happy looking cards. They're just
the guy
not.
crying in bed with the swords like on his wall. It looks like it looks like a cut scene from The Conjuring. The hell?
Well, it's like fear and worry and keeping you up at night, but it's all in your brain. You can't even do
It's all
anything.
in
It might
your
not even be real.
head.
Okay.
Mhm.
Saying that, I feel like that could possibly speak to Damien, because after what you told us on our podcast about like how once you tatted your arms, like you just don't get sleep
Yeah.
now.
I definitely resonate with the sword one, with the bed.
Yeah.
Because
I
when
think,
he
like,
told
with-
us that story, not to get off topic for too much.
No,
Bill,
it's okay. No,
Bill, don't hit the buzzer. but on Haunted Casket, when you told us that, in the moment, I didn't think too hard on what you said because I was wanting to like build off that.
Yeah.
But once we got off, and I was like thinking about that because I lucid dream too, but that's a whole other thing. Whenever you told me that with like these aren't going anywhere, so that I kind of put myself in your shoes of like, holy shit, like some days probably aren't terrible, but your terrifying nights. I was trying to imagine. I'm like, holy shit. And so when I saw that card, I immediately thought of you in a good way, I promise. But
Yeah, you don't know a nightmare until you get one, and they're
Mhm.
pretty extreme.
but anyway,
Yeah, so Damien, do you feel like you resonate with the Nine of Swords when it comes
I would say
to that?
more so now than
Yeah.
now looking
is
at
one
it
of
and understanding and listening to you guys. Then
Yeah.
I would say
I think
that one's definitely me. I would say.
I have a question.
And it's like
for
a
you.
constant like battle because like there's this little battle scene on the beds. It's like you're kind of
Mhm.
like battling in your own mind with things also, or like maybe that could be like spirit, or that could be like any like whatever you're battling, whatever energy are there.
Whatever you've locked away.
Damien, have you
Right?
ever seen swords in a bundle in a dream?
Yeah. It was actually a bed of swords
Okay.
Oh,
coming from the actual mattress,
From the
that's
what?
kinda terrifying.
coming up from the mattress.
Oh, for the mattress. Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Huh.
That's okay.
But like, I mean, if you interpret that the way you would interpret tarot, that would be more of like what your mindset, you're thinking, like what you're doing to yourself, right? That would be more of like the thought processes going on, I would think, right? Julie, help me
Yeah.
out here. I know like you were saying about the swords too, like that's your thought processes, right?
Oh yeah, like thinking ideas. It's all about the air signs too, which is what is it, Aquarius and I gotta go on a blank. I know all the air signs, but it represents them as well. And so their
Yeah.
personalities in the zodiac sign, it kind of adds to the cards. And for me, I resonate with winter with the swords. That's so when I
Ooh.
see the swords, I feel winter, I feel cold, I feel harder times, but it makes you tough. It makes you think
Yeah.
quicker on your feet. And there's so many different decks out there. There's a couple of decks that they actually do like pictures. If you put them together, they all kind of form a picture, which is really
Ooh.
cool. I can't think of the name of it. I wish I had it out right now. But even with this one, they do seem a lot darker, the swords in the Rider-Waite.
They are. I know like when I was first learning, one of my teachers said that when you're going to do the readings for the swords, make imaginary people up. Don't read for yourself right away with the swords because that can be very daunting because they can be very overwhelming, especially if you're not willing to like look at things for yourself. Yeah. So yeah, they can be.
But you also have to remember, I feel like with the minor arcana, it's less of a serious thing. It's more of like the everyday life. I think that with the
Like the
major
day-to-days.
arcana, it's the more serious, bigger events. So I always try to tell that to people too, to like not get too worried, because if the more major arcana, it's probably you want to pay more attention to, and if there's more minor, it's more
like this is more like your day-to-day struggles kind of a
yes,
situation.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Although you
But,
could make the argument that the day-to-day struggles are the more important ones because they're the ones you have to deal with every day.
True, very true.
Oh.
Yes. Oh,
Bill,
Bill,
what do you think of the Ten of Swords then, Bill? Seeing how the day-to-day struggles are.
I don't like the Ten of Swords.
You don't like the Ten of Swords? Speak to
No,
us, Bill.
it's.
I'll be right back, y'all.
I acknowledge.
Okay.
I acknowledge that it's a really good card. That everything Julie said, I agree with 100%. And even just, I've been collecting tarot cards for years. It's only in the last few months that I've actually started using them, and I started using them because of that card. That card was the first one where I started to really see the symbolism in the artwork, and that clicked with me, and that's when I started going down that path. But to get a little bit personal, that card, because the swords is all your mental thoughts and everything, to me, that is everything that your own head is killing you over. It's all the self-doubt. It's all of the, every voice in your head that tells you you can't do this, that you're not right for that, that you're not going to accomplish your goals and all that. And those are voices in my head that I deal with all the time. As much as I push forward on things, I struggle to get there every step of the way. And that card just kind of throws it in my face for me. But I know that if I keep pushing, there is that golden dawn. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's hopefully not a freight train coming my way.
So it's like there's the reality of the situation, but knowing that kind of a thing.
I feel personally attacked by everything that Bill just said.
I feel personally attacked by everything I just said.
Bill, we have more in common than I thought we fucking did. I need to cry in a corner and talk to you later.
There's a reason we're friends, Trevor.
I know.
I think this has been so much fun. We did run over a little bit, so anyone who is still watching, I just want to let you know, heads up, Pac-Man Paranormal is running right now on the network, so please head on over there and check them out. We did run out of time to do readings tonight, so I would love for all of us to come back together for just like reading for people, if you guys would be interested in doing that as a show.
Anytime.
If you don't have a theme scheduled for the week after the soiree, that could be the fall episode. I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to make it work.
We'll figure it out. No, I definitely want to have everyone back. We'll make sure that we can do it when everyone's available, and we'll come back and we'll just do readings for the side. So I think that'd be fun for all of us to interpret cards together. Kind of, it would give a little bit more, because we have very similar, but at the same time different things that we look at. So it would be fun to see how we all collaborate on reading for the side. So yeah, I definitely want to do that with you guys. If you're comfortable with that, I will figure that out. We'll get that scheduled. And
100%.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Guys, thank you so much. I learned a lot. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody's perspectives. How do you guys feel about tonight? Was this okay? Was this
It felt great.
My eyes are
yeah?
No, it was absolutely perfect, Dani. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but maybe I can.
Yes, you
Thank you
do.
for having me.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. And everyone on the side, thank you for showing up and for participating and just for being here with us. We appreciate you spending your Sunday with us. We are going to leave you with a listing of the Paranormal Podcast Program listing. So please make sure that you check everybody out. And, tarot is all about, it's not predicting the future. It's helping you realize your own future and just know that, it's not scary. It's not meant to be, there's a horrible thing that you can't touch, or you're not going to open up a gate to hell. It's about having that conversation with yourself and just, reconnecting with life. So everyone, thank you so much. As soon as I find what I'm trying to do here, you guys will see the program. Guys, have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Bye.